Hi, this is Jeff Andrus at jeffandrus.com. This is not an easy video log for me to do. It's about abortion, it's about hell, it's about our economy, and it relates them all together. I had for some time wondered about why the economic problems that the U.S. is in aren't dealt with, because we have what are seemingly rational officials. And the whole center of the system, the central bank, the Federal Reserve, it's public only in the first name Federal, is actually started by a group of greedy private bankers, and they have been given the power to print money that isn't backed by anything except the goodwill and trust of the United States, whatever that means. And so that's how we pay off our debts, is by paper. Now, this kind of thing is known. It's all over the internet in some form or another. Other link that I want to do is to Michael Vorst, who makes the connection between a bad economy and abortion. The premise is this: since the Roe v. Wade decision of 1973, we have killed 60 million babies. We have killed 60 million taxpayers, 60 million workers, 60 million scientists, musicians, and whatever. We can't survive as a people anymore, because there are more people retiring and needing those workers who could have been around, who aren't going to pay the taxes. Instead, we're going to have the Federal Reserve make up debt, make up payment, and bring our country to ruin. Now, it seems to me that Presidents Bush and Clinton and Obama, they're not stupid. But if in some place you countenance abortion, you tolerate it in some way, even though you don't want to fund it, say like Bush, or even though you are in favor of funding anything like Obama, but to tolerate it in some way, you're not going to be, that's not rational. So therefore, to make rational economic decisions won't take place. And the corruption will not only start with, and may not even end with, the economy. The corruption's all over the place. I know a case in LA County in which a woman was hit by a bicycle in a traffic violation in which she was not at fault. That was the finding of the court. Now, they wouldn't let her defend herself or use the witnesses that she had, but instead they appointed a lawyer who, after he gained her acquittal, said, oh, there was an extra charge that was $150. Supposedly the extra charge went to sort of soothe the feathers of the bicyclist who lost the case. No, they went to the judge. In LA, there's a mandate on what they can make. They're not supposed to make more. It's in the county constitution. They're not supposed to make more than that. But they do, because the county pays them under the table a whole bunch of money. That's why when a gentleman named Fine went to court to dispute a property settlement, he pointed out that the judge at the bench, a guy named Jaffe, a real corrupt man, a scoundrel. Fine simply pointed out that in the last 6 or 10 years, in any property dispute, it was LA County that won them. And for that simple information, Judge Jaffe ordered him into coercive solitary confinement for contempt of court until the judge himself retired. And I think the judges of the county, realizing that there was something that they didn't smell too good, they passed a retroactive law where they couldn't be fined for their corruption, for their kickbacks, for all the stuff that goes on there. It doesn't stop with courts. Innocent people get killed when God's wrath is poured out. Why would he do that? Well, first of all, we never call on God. You know, we kick them out of our schools. We debate whether or not you can have a creche scene at Christmas time. And funny enough is enough, but it's not just our disbelief as individuals. It's the way we treat our children. Again, you can't kill babies and think rationally about anything. You don't know what right and wrong is. You've lost the ability. I was going to replay a video that I had earlier on this site about Dr. George Tiller, the late-term abortionist from Wichita, Kansas, who was shot and killed. That was material from his own clinic. It was promotional material, trying to get women to come in and spend their money to have abortions. And he would provide certificates of live birth, because basically he was killing live babies. And he would, if they wanted them, they didn't have to have that. He would also photograph them hugging their dead infant to show that they really had a heart, that they cared. And he would also provide funeral services. It was the most macabre and grisly thing I'd ever seen, and you can't get it anymore. There's no place that I can find it on the internet. And I think I know why. I think it's the lawyers for the clinic have it under lock and key. Instead, I've posted to another video, which is pretty grim. But it shows, see, you'll find something about yourself in this. If you think this is okay, if you're so jaded that what you're going to see on that video is, it's every woman's choice, then there's no hope for you or me or the whole country. And I actually believe that's probably true. I think we're too jaded. It's interesting that we would talk about abortion in the sense that, well, I don't believe in it personally. But if a woman wants to have it, that's her body, and she should be able to do what she wants with her body. Excuse me. Although it is the baby's body, number one. And number two, if you use the same argument, you can use the same argument this way. I don't believe in assassinating U.S. members of Congress. I think it's terrible. That should not happen. No matter how corrupt they are, and they're very corrupt, no matter how deserving they are of death, it should be illegal to kill them. We shouldn't kill them. That's wrong. That's how I personally feel. However, if you have an other personal ethic, then I don't want to stop you from exercising your freedom of choice. Unless we are stopped from our freedom of choice, we then move on to our next video, which is 28 minutes in hell. That's where we're headed. There is no solution except by becoming righteous ourselves. It's not easy. God is a God of love and mercy. He forgives abortionists and people who have had abortions. But when the blood of 60 million infants cries out from the ground, at some point he acts. And we will regret every minute of what we did. And we'll blame him, God, for allowing this to happen to us. Wish I had happier news. I do not.